Most horrible time of the year. It's a song that everybody sings and knows, and that one word change can describe how it feels for a person with mental illness. We're going to discuss today why that is the case. It's complicated, and I don't by any means feel like I'm speaking for everyone, but I'm going to give you an insight into why it can be so hard around Christmas time. It's in the words of every song that comes out at Christmas time. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. It's in our actual greetings. Merry Christmas. We're all encouraged to believe as fact that Christmas time is wonderful. All the Christmas movies, everything works out great. It's an unrealistic expectation, and it's one that can be confusing for people. Let's discuss the actual holiday itself, first off. For Christians, it is a holy time of the year, and the idea that Christmas is a great time comes out of that Judeo-Christian belief. And if you happen to be a believer, I am, you believe that while it's technically not the date of Jesus' birthday at Christmas time, it's the date that we've chosen to celebrate it. And when you talk about cultural appropriation and appropriation of things, this is a holiday that everybody appropriates. Doesn't matter who you are. The biggest atheist in the world probably says Merry Christmas or had a Christmas tree for their kids. Obviously, all traditions that were built from people wanting to celebrate Christmas. But there's that innate promise in the birth of Jesus, this idea that people are now better off because of his birth. Okay, whether you believe that or not is immaterial. That is the essence of Christmas. It's a time of hope, of renewal. That's what Christmas was birthed out of. So let's talk about the modern reality of Christmas. Every Christmas movie, every song, have yourself a merry little Christmas. It assumes that that is the default. But let's talk about that expectation versus the reality. If you're a person with mental illness and you are disassociated, you are isolated, you're already disappointed with the way that your life is going. You live in a constant state of feeling like you are not good enough, that times are hard, that you are the only person suffering, and that nobody understands what you're going through because everybody else is supposedly happy and celebrating this time of year. For me personally, I don't like watching the carols by candlelight and that sort of thing on that are Australian mainstays, because the people singing the songs are singing because it makes their words sound good. Their voices makes them sound like they've done all this great work on their voices, and aren't they terrific? It's about self. It's not about the story of Christmas. So there's a disconnect there for me, that why are these people singing about something that they don't believe in? And I often think of these people backstage doing cocaine and coming out very happy and singing a song that they like the words because it makes their voice sound good, but not believing a thing that they're saying. So already I had an inbuilt distrust of this idea that Christmas is supposed to be great. And of course, we all hope that Christmas will be great. When you've got kids, in the years before I had kids, my joy of Christmas went out the window. There was no reason for innate joy. In fact, I virtually stopped seeing the point of the commercialized side of Christmas. And it wasn't until I had kids and I saw that excitement in my youngest daughter, who would wake up on Christmas morning and would come out and just be shaking with excitement. Shaking, shaking, shaking. Not just, wow, this is cool. Like, she almost couldn't deal with how wonderful it was. Even this year, a year for us of huge near tragedy. Both my daughters nearly died this year. Came very, very close. In some ways, it's miraculous that they're still alive. One of them particularly miraculous. Come Christmas time, they're excited. They're anticipating what's coming along. Their problems don't seem as hard. And why is this? It's because the expectation that I have built for them comes out in reality. They know that they are going to enjoy Christmas morning. And that's because it's not in their control. It's in my control. Now, if I decide that I'm having a bad mental health day, you don't decide, it just happens, then Christmas is ruined for those kids. But I've worked my hardest to ensure that that's not the case. Now let's take a person that doesn't have kids, that can't see the joy through their children's eyes, who can't enjoy it through their children's eyes, whether they are suffering from mental illness symptoms or they are just older, a little bit older, they're a little bit isolated, they aren't in touch with a lot of people. Let's look at the expectation of Christmas. You're going to be given something wonderful. You are going to get something which is going to make you happy. All the commercials show it. There's no real sad people on the Christmas ads. You're going to get together with family. You're going to get together with people that love you unconditionally. You're going to eat food. You may be going on a holiday. At least you're going to have a couple of days off work, unless you're a shift worker. And then you're going to squeeze in Christmas whenever you can, but you know you're going to get a boatload full of money for working Christmas, so it's kind of a trade-off. Christmas magnifies, for a person with mental illness, the symptoms that they're already feeling. They're already feeling like nobody cares for them because they can't, because you're such a terrible person. Why would someone care for you? It seems like a no-brainer for a person with a mental illness to just assume that people don't want to be with them. So scratch being with family. You're going to get something. Well, when you've got a mental illness, you're suffering deep depression, deep anxiety, fear, phobias. There is nothing good out there. There is nothing that can make life that little bit better. So why would you be looking forward to a present? The best you could hope for is something that you need, like actually need, like new underpants or something like that, may happen, but there is no expectation of a joyous present opening. You're going to get together with family. When you're really struggling with depression, it can be a chore just to say hello to the people that you live with in the morning. You have to remind yourself, force yourself sometimes, get out of bed. Get out of bed. Are there people around? Do I have to acknowledge them? As a father with children, of course I do. As a human being living with other people, of course you do. Nobody in any share house in the world that I know of comes out in a sullen silence in the morning and ignores everybody around them and then disappears. If they do, that's worrying behavior. I don't want to be around people. I especially don't want to be around people that are happy. I mean, I do deep down in my bones. Of course I do. Everybody wants that. But I know that it's going to be bad. It's going to fill me with anxiety, with fear, with pain, and it's not going to be a good experience. So what do you do? What do you do for that person that is already isolated, that is already struggling? My advice would be to get them to participate to the level that they are able. Let them do an Irish goodbye. If you're taking everybody to somebody's house, take 2 cars. When the person with mental illness is struggling, let them go and don't judge them for going. There are no magic bullets here. There's nothing that I can say, do this and everything will be great, because it's just not going to happen. What you can do is you can understand. You can say, hey, I know that things are tough. I know that you're struggling. But have you thought that it might be a good thing to just come out for a little while? Maybe we don't go out for the whole thing. Maybe we show up, we eat, we give people presents, then we leave. A person with mental illness is so consumed with their pain that the idea of something happy is almost painful, because they know that it's not going to be them. You feel like the kid outside the candy store watching everybody inside getting wonderful candies and lollies and chocolates. You're standing outside and you know that you can't get any. Somebody gives you chocolate as they come out of the store. It can change your world. If you see somebody like that, that's outside the candy store, that's outside the lolly shop, give them what you can. Expect only what they can give. If it's to show up for dinner for half an hour, be grateful for that half hour. Thank them for having the strength, the courage to do that. And when they have to go, send them with your love. Send them with your blessings. It's okay. I really appreciate that you've spent the time that you could with us. That is your gift to us. Thank you. It's a great time to let them know that they are important. You are thinking of them. Even if they don't look like they appreciate it, they know. Hey, I want to thank you for listening once again to Shattered the Podcast. I want to remind you, subscribe, like, share. Please do that. You'll be the first to get all the goods. You'll be spreading the word, getting the word out there, and you'll be becoming part of the conversation, because that's what this is. It's conversation. Like, share, subscribe, follow, be part of the conversation. I will chat to you again next week. Hasta Nabisco. Thank you for listening to Shattered the Podcast. I'd like to thank our producer, Meredith Brosnan, our executive producer, Torian Lau, and the band Adelaide for allowing us to use their song as our theme. Go to shatteredthepodcast.com for more information.